Here's Jacob Smith. His shot, he scores! Centering pass. Oh, what a sensational save. It's 2-on-1. Here's Chesson winding up for one-timer. Savino, he scores! Chong with a brilliant move. She scores! Shoots, he scores! We are live from the Edge Ice Arena in Bensenville for the Red Varsity AHAI State semifinals, game number 2, right here on your home for AHAI Hockey YouTube Live. Good evening, everybody, and welcome into tonight's broadcast, this Game 2 matchup between York and Loyola playing in this semifinal game. Alongside Wes Anderson down on ice level, Jeremy Ellis to my right. I am Max Anderson. We'll have all the live game action for you here from the Edge. Jeremy, these two teams played each other in the state football semifinals. A heated matchup and rivalry in the SHL. They meet right back here again here in the state hockey semifinals. Yeah,
the Dukes hockey team is going to try to do what the football team couldn't do in the playoffs this season. And I tell you what, Max, if you're looking for a high-scoring game, I don't think you're going to get it in this one. I mean, the recipe for both teams is to keep it low-scoring, 2-1, 3-2 hockey, and I expect it to be tight-checking, very physical hockey game here today.
And from you mentioned a tight-checking hockey game. I want to start on the York goaltending side. Adam Kesmerick, possibly the best goaltender in the entire state, has taken his game up another notch here in the playoffs. He's got his goals against average, save percentage up to nearly 94%.
Yeah, I mean, he's looked sharp. I mean, going back to a couple games ago against Deerfield, I mean, out here watching that game, Deerfield really put a lot of pressure on him, and he kind of saved the hides of his York teammates in that one. And he's looked sharp really in the last game, and I think he's going to be ready to roll here against Loyola in this matchup.
You mentioned Loyola, Braden Haney in net. He's been a key component to that low-scoring defensive mentality. For more on their approach here tonight, we're going to send it down to ice level where Wes Anderson standing by with Loyola co-head coach Scott Sorello. Wes, take it away.
Thanks, Max. Coach, you're able to score 2 late third-period goals against GBS on Sunday. What are you looking to bring over from that game tonight?
Just the battle mentality. This team doesn't quit. We got a bunch of fighters in this group, and I think it'll show tonight.
You're talking about that no-quit mentality for your first one against this York Dukes team. What do you need to do different tonight that you didn't do in the first 3 games?
I think stay out of the box in the first period. I think we started really good against GBS, and then we got in penalty trouble, and it just hurt our momentum. I think we got to get more pucks on net, do a better job in the neutral zone. We got slowed down. They trap similarly, so we'll expect that. So breaking the puck out clean, getting through the neutral zone clean, and getting pucks on net.
All right, thanks, Coach. Good luck tonight.
All right, thank you.
Guys, back up to you.
Thanks, Wes. That other co-head coach, DJ LeVar, sneaking in the picture right there at the end. Do want to take that segue perfectly to that incredible quarterfinal game that we had between Loyola and GBS just a couple of games ago. GBS really controlled the whole game, and it was 2 goals in the last 2 minutes to get Loyola into this game.
Yeah, I mean, what an incredible finish. They were able to get the goalie pulled. I think it started with about 2:04 left on the official time, and then the goal that was scored was literally from the goal line, just an impossible shot. The first goal was one with the net kind of coming off right after the goal went in, and then that next shot there was just a very tough one on an off angle, and it just went upstairs over the shoulder of Winger, the goaltender for GBS. But just no fight in this Loyola goal team. You've seen it even in the SHL playoffs against New Trier Green, just everything down to the wire. They just don't quit. They play a full 51 minutes every game.
You mentioned that SHL semifinal game where they were trailing 2-1, and in that game forced overtime with a goal with less than 20 seconds left in that game. The fight mentality out of this Loyola team, it's not just words. We've seen it all season long.
Yeah, but if you're, Coach Scott and Coach DJ over there, you'd like to maybe be on the other end of that and maybe be protecting a lead instead of trying to chase one. And, when you're having to fight back every game, it just starts to wear on you at some point and really can grind your gears. I mean, 3 games that these teams have played during the regular season, York's won all of them, but it's only been by 1 goal. So, I mean, I really expect an exciting hockey game.
We have a huge crowd on hand. A lot of spillover from the last round, and a huge York student section in the corner to our right. Big Loyola student section to our right as well. and fans littering the stands up and down. It's a elite atmosphere for a chance to go to the United Center.
Yeah, I tell you what, I mean, this Loyola game, even over the weekend against GBS, the games prior to that just really didn't have the crowds that you're kind of accustomed to seeing. Then all of a sudden Loyola takes the ice and this place just gets electric. I mean, they have their fans have done a great job all season long of just really providing support for this team. You know, I would say that this has kind of, not been the usual Loyola team. They've kind of been middling of the pack in the SHL, but they're really putting it together at the right time. And I tell you what, if we have an Loyola New Trier United Center showdown, I mean, that's going to be nuclear. I mean, that's going to be a bomb went off down on Madison if that happens.
We saw that matchup back in 2019, the last time this state championship game was played at the United Center. York looking to change the script. Jeremy, I mentioned this to you off air. You mentioned everyone's at this point looking for the New Trier Loyola matchup. If there was ever a team that had a legitimate case for the no one believed in us mentality, it's this York team. It's been about New Trier. It's been about Luke Winger and GBS. And York just quietly all season long got a 17-9 regular season record. Get here to the semifinals quietly. No one really talking about them. You talked about defensive, and they are opportunistic.
Yeah, I mean, I've even underestimated them. I mean, when I was looking at the bracket for my team, I said, hey, we've got a nice road if we can get past Ignatius and play York there. But once I saw them play Deerfield, and then once I saw them, last week as well, I mean, they just looked sharp against Ignatius. They got out to that early 3-0 lead, and then they really put a stranglehold there on the Wolfpack, and that's how they got here.
Everyone centers ice. We are underway in game number 2 of the Red Varsity State semifinals. Maurer misses this pass to the neutral zone. Ryan Cowan, the 4-year stalwart captain for the Loyola Gold, has been such a key component in the back end. He'll jump up to the forward line every now and then. He's a dynamic player and one that really makes this Loyola team go. Yeah,
he does it all. I mean, sometimes I wonder why you put that kid at forward. He's such a brick house back there on defense. But, when you got a guy, that could be a penalty there and no call.
Early opportunity. It's no call, but talk about Ryan Cowan, just such a dynamic player. Has been for all 4 years. And he's looking to cap it with a state championship here in 2023.
Yeah, I really think that's the strength of this Loyola team is their back line with Sipe and Matt Klein and Cowan and those guys. They really lock it down. They can match up against the team's top line and really shut the door there.
Mentioned, we do not expect as high-flying a game. These two teams are going to want to gum up the neutral zone, make people dig pucks out of the corner, work for every single chance they get towards net.
Yeah, when you've got a tight checking game like this.
Joe Bear's shot off the stick of Kazmarek. Just trickles out of harm's way. Now in transition come the Dukes. It's Curry who has his angle cut off by Joe Bear. Charlie Bain with some space. Has Mikey Baker backdoor, but it was behind him.
Bain just kind of lost the handle on it for a second. He was looking over for Baker. And puck squirted off his stick.
Baker in the corner, trying to force a turnover. Gets it to Joe Bear. Joe Bear below the goal line. Drops quick shot on net. Kazmarek steers it aside. This puck chipped up into the York bench, so Loyola's going to get an offensive zone draw out of it.
Yeah, good pressure there. Jobert and Bain working together in a little two-man game from down low and able to get a good scoring opportunity. Kazmarek really had to make a nice blocker save there, his first kind of touch of the hockey game.
We have 2 engaged student sections. You're going to hear it all game long, folks. Several hundred students from both schools. They're going to be making lots of noise all game long. This puck flutters into the glove of Kazmarek. Just about 80 seconds into this one here from the edge.
Yeah, what I was going to say, Max, is anytime you got a really tight game like that one, you really got to keep an eye on faceoffs.
Guys, you talk about both teams just going to muck it up through the middle. Both teams are playing with a ton of energy here just 2 minutes into this first period.
It's going to be up and down the ice. They're going to see a lot of rolling lines. They're going to have to sustain it throughout the game. A huge hit as the hit of, I believe that's Compasano, gets knocked off with a big hit by big Zach Waltman. And we're going to get a whistle as, of course, Jeremy, once that helmet comes off.
Well, he's gonna have to leave as well. He got yard sailed there a little bit. He looks like he lost his chain.
Thought it was Zach Waltman. It was actually Henry Fitzsimmons with the huge hit. Looked good and legal to me.
Yeah, I got a good replay angle of it there from our
Our corner cam
End zone
down.
cam, yep.
Yeah, our corner cam down there. Dylan Ward manning that for us. Of course, if you follow a lot of high school hockey, you know Dylan's a lot of times on air with us. He's stepping up on camera duty. Here's a pass across ice through the slot. Fitzsimmons couldn't get a stick on it. And
Careful with that stick.
Waltman almost hooking Anderson. His centering pass, no one home for the Dukes. Now trapped in the corner in front of the Loyola student section. Now a bouncing pass, trickling through the legs, trying to jam it home. It's still loose. And finally we get a whistle.
The net. That's a really big break there for AHAI and company for Loyola, because that puck was loose, but he was able to nudge the net off.
Look at it. You could see in this angle that puck almost squirts through. I'm sure from our goal cam behind, we're going to get a really good look at it here. Oh, it hits the post through the legs of Haney. That close to the game's first goal.
Yeah, it looks like that got deflected down low.
Guys, as a goalie, great awareness by Haney to realize that puck's behind him, flares that right leg so it keeps that puck from crossing the line and just able to keep the puck from going across, able to keep this tied up here in 3 minutes.
And that's the voice of Wes Anderson, our goaltending expert and sideline reporter. He'll be with us all night long. And longtime goaltender Wes Anderson, always like his insights on that part of the game. Here's a shot, deflected and knocked down in front by Sipe. Trying to carry it out of the zone and able to is Chris Sipe. He's got some room, skates wide, looking for some support. He's going to take it below the goal line, loses his edge, and turns it over to Nicholas Sanfilippo.
We've seen more players kind of lose an edge here on this ice in these two games than I've seen in quite a long time, Mac.
Namek trying to win the puck in the corner. Yeah, it was obvious in that first game. We had several awkward slips. Shot from Moore off the shoulder of Haney. A lot of traffic in front, but he saw it the whole way. Big wind-up shot, just missing the near post off the powerful slap shot from Rosa. Now causing a turnover comes Holton. He can't get past Colantonio.
Haney did a good job of fighting through traffic, getting on top of his crease. I'm sure Wes can appreciate that aggressive goaltending.
Here's Steele. Steele missing the stick of Levy and taking over his Fisher. Fisher wrap attempt in front to Cowan. He can't get a shot off.
He was wanting it earlier, Max, and they couldn't get it to him.
Maurer back the other way. He's going to drop it deep. Make Fisher dig it out from below his goal line. Cowan plays it quickly up to Levy in transition. Far side to Messina. Tommy Messina as he enters the zone. He's bracketed by two Dukes. He's just got to drop it below the goal line. He'll be taken out by Maurer. Maurer's going to dump it deep. Colantonio, far half wall, able to get it. Now but able to play it farther than Mikey Baker. Now Matt Klein, his sister's already punched her ticket to the state championship game at the United Center on the 19th. She'll be playing at the 11 a.m. slot for the girls in Loyola against the Barrington Phillies. Going to be a family affair for the Ramblers.
Yeah, Mac's first year playing for Loyola, coming over from the Bulldogs program. Nice addition for this Loyola hockey team.
Yeah, they had a big turnover. That was part of that slow season start. You talked about it. They were kind of middle of the pack. Really turned over the whole roster. Here's Bain coming up the ice. Kazmarek gets a piece of it, but they had 7 transfers come into the program, and it really took a while for this team to find their legs. They had 7 overtime losses in SHL play, by far the most in the league, so a little bit snake-bitten in that regard too, but really finding their footing here at the right time of the season.
Yeah, what a luxury to get players like Sipe and Matt Klein back there on the blue line. I mean, those would be, 1 and 2 defensemen on any other team in the SHL.
Kadlik manning the middle of the ice as he steers Petak aside. DeZillo comes up from his defensive spot to keep the rush going for the Dukes. Petak quickly across to Smith. Smith sandwiched off the puck by Kadlik. Comes free to 14, Ryan Cowan. Charlie Bain uses his body in good positioning. His shot to flex up. Hard rebound. Baker follows. And Kazmarek had to kick that left pad out to keep us scoreless. Still battling side of the net. Bain trying to play another shot forward. Eventually it'll be chipped out by DeZillo. Steele wants it quickly as York was in a change, but got a little bit crossed over. Wasn't able to play on.
Yeah, a little bit of a bad pass. He wanted it quick, and they couldn't transition back the other way. But tell you what, Charlie Bain looking very impressive using his size and skill early on in this hockey game.
Chris Sipe carrying it through the neutral zone. He'll enter the offensive end, looking for some help in the slot. Centering pass, not able to get a shot off was Fitzsimmons. Waltman around the backside here. Sipe waiting for it. Finnegan able to keep it in for the Ramblers. Now Peifel for York. His shot blocked by Steele. Comes loose to Steele. He's got some room up the middle of the ice. He quickly gets it out to Waltman, who's just going to dump it in after a long shift and go for a change.
I tell you what, this pace is torrid right now. These teams are going to need oxygen. You might need oxygen, Max. Not a lot of stoppages here in the early going.
No, we are flying through this first part of the first period, under 10 minutes to go.
I thought these teams would settle in a little bit. They are still up and running right now.
A little bit more pace up the ice than I think we both expected coming into this game. We're going to get played by a high stick, so it's going to be an offensive zone draw coming for the Ramblers.
Guys, you talk about this pace. Definitely the student section energy that's here tonight has something to do with that. I'm down here on the Loyola bench, and everybody's pretty jazzed up, talking to each other, getting each other riled up, something that you guys can appreciate up there in the booth.
No doubt about it. The entire side that we're on completely full, and I'm sure a lot of the shots, you can see the far side, probably about half full. We've got a couple thousand people here at the Edge Ice Arena in Bensenville.
Yeah, the 8 o'clock game's definitely going to get a lot more people able to make the drive out from the city and the suburbs.
And almost a home game for York. They're just down the street in Addison. Here's a dump from Cooper Nelson. Can't get it all the way deep as Rosa stops it in its tracks. Cowan's got a reset for the Ramblers. Quickly up to Cooper Nelson, who gives way to Messina. He's got Levy coming up the slot, but can't get it to him. Active play by Fisher to keep things going for Loyola.
Messina looks aggressive in their early going as well.
Messina with just 1 point here on the postseason, but he had 19 in regular season SHL play for the Ramblers. Key depth piece that certainly adds a scoring element as well. Back to the point. Here's a shot from Klein. It's knocked down in front. Back the other way comes the Dukes. Here's Sohn. His shot into the glove. Haney wants to play. Sipe's just going to hold it. Haney's going to hold it. Sipe wanted it.
Yeah, that's one of those situations where you have time to play it, and you just don't want to give it up. I'm sure Wes can kind of chime in on that. It always kind of gets into that area. Should I let it go? Should I not let it go? You don't want to fumble the puck there.
Yeah, guys, usually when the goalie does that, it's so his defensive pairing could get a change. But it looked like the Ramblers were fresh there. You could see Coach Lockwood to my right was screaming at Haven to play that puck. Not sure why he kept that under the trapper.
So maybe a break there for York, because Loyola could have played on, but we're here with 8:08 left in the first period. Cole Antonio chips it into the Loyola end. Cadlick back to retrieve it for Loyola.
Really like the aggressiveness of this line right now for Loyola.
Now a chance for Charlie Bain. He takes a big hit from Curry and cleared up the boards. That reaches the end line. It'll be icing against York. It will, so an offensive zone draw coming for Loyola.
Well, Bain just took a man-size hit there, and he did not even get the shot off. He got lined up really well. Not sure if we can catch a replay on that one, but that was about as good a hit as you'll have coming down the other side. And looks like he's okay over on the bench, Wes. I was almost thinking with that quick line change, might have got shaken up a little bit.
Yeah, Jeremy, he looks to be settled in, hit down here on the bench, maybe gathered himself a bit, did take quite a shot there.
Face-off violation, I believe, whistled by our top referee here.
And one thing to keep an eye on, Max, is that Loyola typically runs 5 defensemen, so you're going to see guys out there with different partners every couple shifts. So they really can't settle in, and sometimes you can lose tendencies when you have a new partner every other shift.
That misses everybody, but looked like it could have been played by Ryan Cowan. York's bench not happy with the icing call. We'll head back into their zone.
Maybe that played a part in Haney wanting to control that puck, knowing that he's only got 5 defensemen. Just give those guys a little extra rest there.
7:34 left in the first period. Now another big hit by Fitzsimmons, who lowers the shoulder, but Petak's able to take it away, flips it in on Haney, takes a glove. Cowan gives Petak a bit of a shove, didn't love the snow shower he was trying to give Haney. And they have some pleasantries in the corner.
Well, the neutral green team is down there kind of in between the student section. It looks like they're catching some ricochet chirps from the York student section right now.
This is what it's all about, Jeremy. This atmosphere, this game, this day. Semifinal number 2 from the Edge. I know we've got alumni up and down the docket tuning in. I'm sure it brings back great memories across the board. Cowan settles, across to his teammate Klein. Klein around one man, can't get around Smith.
Ooh, Klein took a shot to the face.
I was gonna say, a pretty high stick there. Moore gloves it at the center ice line. He's just got to play it forward. Now Joe Bear with some space. Rosa over to cut off the angle. Baker to follow. Leaves for Petak. Now Petak's 3-on-2 if they hurry. Drops to Smith, top of the circle. Cross ice chance. Here's a shot from Booth just over the crossbar.
Nice little 3-on-2, little center drive there to open up the far wing.
Back the other way comes Bain. He'll drop it deep, force Kaczmarek to play the puck. Rosa in the corner as the rest of his line mates will get a change. Rosa, trouble handling the puck, a dangerous area for that to happen. Matt St. John pestering him the entire way, lays a big hit, but not able to keep play going for the Ramblers. Now Anderson leaves for Coit. Anderson carries into the zone. He takes a check against the Zamboni doors. Now 3 or 4 bodies coming together trying to dig it out. Coit able to get it, but Feifel has to retreat back into the neutral zone. Now turnover here from Camposano as DJ Long hopped onto the ice trying to make something happen for Loyola. Quickly able to recover.
Big collision there.
Here's Coit trying to drag around one man, instead drops it deep. This Sipe cut off the angle. Now Sipe with some speed up the left wing. He's 1-on-3 as the rest of his line will change. He gets one in on Kaczmarek, but a smooth glove save. That's not going to beat Adam Kaczmarek tonight with 5:27 left in the first.
Yeah, Sipe's such a great two-way defenseman, always looking to rush the puck. I just wish he would get that shot off a little sooner. He's kind of skated himself out of a good scoring chance a couple times now, just going wide on his forehand. If he gets that shot off in between the rings, may have a better chance there.
5:27 left in the first. Offensive zone draw for Loyola, one cleanly back to Kadlik. His shot forward, gloved by Finnegan and played into the corner. Waltman trying to position himself to win the battle. He does. He's got Cowan waiting for it back at the point, not able to get it to him. Side of the net, Fitzsimmons, his shot is steered aside.
Loyola is definitely the quicker, more spry team, I would say, here in this first period.
That puck just does reach an icing. So Loyola's going to head right back into the York zone. You mentioned it. Certainly, Loyola getting the benefit of play here early in terms of chances in the offensive zone, but not necessarily any high-grade chances, grade A chances to this point for either team. Maybe the one that went through
yeah, that was
Haney.
The best one off the goalpost there, and that was kind of an innocent-looking shot, if you will.
Draw again to Kaczmarek's left. Tied up. The Ramblers trying to dig it out. They're able to get it back to the point and Klein. Drops it along the half wall to Fisher. Fisher's shot knocked down in front. Still bouncing around, but Levy couldn't get a shot on net, and that'll be cleared again by York. This time on net for Loyola, so he's got to glove it. And now Loyola is going to yield a defensive zone draw.
Yeah, those are always tough for a goaltender when it's a long shot dump in like that and starts skipping around on the ice. Good job by Haney. Haney getting some practice for lacrosse season, Max. Not sure if you knew, but Haney coming out for the Loyola lacrosse team, looking to lace him up in front of the balls out there as well.
Jeremy, Loyola lacrosse coach, does a little bit of everything. Joining us here at J&M Media for these state semifinals.
That's what you got to do with 2 and soon to be 3 kids in college, Max. You got to find ways to earn extra bucks.
Well, we're happy to have you. Appreciate Jeremy Ellis on the call. Wes Anderson down on ice level. I'm Max Anderson here with the rest of the great J&M Media crew, live from the Edge in Bensenville. Cowan taking this puck away for the Ramblers, but he loses it behind the net. A little backhanded shot as Haney has to sprawl out and drop on it. It was Charles Colantonio. Tried to beat him short side, but Haney up to the task.
Colantonio had a great semifinal. He was out there aggressive, making plays. Really good down low in the corners, both offensively and defensively, as Colantonio.
Offensive zone draw. P-Tac wins it cleanly and able to play it forward. Collision in the corner. Shout out, I see our very own Patrick Loftus. He's enjoying this one from the student section tonight. So he gets ready for his baseball season at Loyola. Across to Cowan. His shot just misses the cage.
Good back check there by York.
Across. Trying to get it to Cowan. If he would have had it, he had some space, but intercepted. Here's Booth the other way. Booth tries to go around one man. Can't get the puck back as Haney drops his glove on it. Both these teams just poking and prodding, trying to find some creases and openings.
I think we're seeing both teams kind of take their foot off the gas just a bit here and catch a breather because things have slowed down just a tad.
Here's a shot in on Haney. As point blank was Tyler Peifel. Haney steers it to the corner.
Bad coverage responsibilities there by Loyola on that one. Almost let a guy walk right in.
Anderson battling, trying to win some possession. Get something going to the front of the net. But back the other way comes Fitzsimmons. He's going to fire in on Kazmarek, who smoothly gloves that. And a collision after the fact is...
York's got every right to give him a little extra shot there as he went hard to the net. It was gloved the whole time. Kind of get a little snow on the side of Kazmarek there, but good defenseman's always going to protect his goalie at all times.
And you see Rosa gives him a shove, but doesn't give him a second one. It's usually that second one that's going to get that penalty. That's great discipline from Frank Rosa.
Yeah, referee's always going to let you kind of protect your goalie, kind of step in there, but it's when you get excessive contact, that's when you're going to get that call.
Got a couple of recent York alums tuning in tonight. Current DePaul hockey players. They had a fantastic season in the club hockey circuit. Chris Lee and Billy Passion checking in, tuning in to tonight's game, written on their former squad. So shout out to them. Thanks, fellas, for tuning in. Asher Mo, too, I know, tuning in as well. Appreciate you guys all watching this state semifinal action.
Hey, Wes, do you think Haney covering all those pucks has to do with the fact that they're running 5D down there and trying to keep those guys fresh?
Yeah, 100%, especially because I think they're only running 2 core lines right now, so I think it's just back and forth for those 2D pairings. So Haney very aware that he's shorthanded on that back end, just great awareness by the assistant captain in net.
Frank Rosa's shot had some threatening intentions, but it was knocked down before it could get through to Haney. Nicosia, haven't called his name much tonight, but he is the key cog that makes this York offense go. Here's a shot. Haney gloves it. Talk about Frank Nicosia. 28 points in the SHL regular season, 11 goals, 17 assists. He's got 3 playoff goals as well. To get this far into the game and having not called Nicosia's name, that's clearly a focus for Loyola.
Yeah, he's kind of the pick-to-click guy to watch out there for the York Dukes. He had an excellent game against St. Ignatius in the quarterfinals, so I'd expect him to play a part in this game at some point.
Here's Jack Levy, his shot steered aside. Messina takes a check from Nicosia. Colantonio collects along the far half wall. Eventually chipped out by Nicosia. Back to take the puck is Sipe. Sipe avoids one man and will get far enough to avoid the icing and get the puck deep.
It's hard to lay a big hit on Chris Sipe, but I tell you what, John Mulvey put him down for the count in the last game with a big hit. A couple of Glenview guys going at it.
That's another smooth glove save, and you can see just how smooth and comfortable Adam Kazmarek is in that.
Well, his defense is doing a good job of letting him see all the pucks. I mean, it's a goaltender's best friend. If he can see pucks, I mean, it's hard tracking a puck and a shot from the point, but when it's low like that and there's no traffic and he can able to line and get his glove on it, that's just going to be easy pickings for him back there.
Face-off draw won by Baker, but quickly taking it away is Smith for the Dukes. A scoreless first period here in semifinal number 2. One of these two teams is looking for a date with destiny against the New Trier Green Trevians at the United Center on the 19th. Here's a shot from Joe Bear, who, after he lets that go, just kind of looks up with a little bit of frustration. You know that look when teams start to feel like a goaltender's locked in. It's kind of the look Joe Bear just gave you.
Yeah, you can see there on the replay, it looks like he was trying to go up high over the glove. There was just a little window of space in between the helmet and the shoulder there as Kaczmarek went down early and just really couldn't line it up and put it home.
Face-off draw, gets stuck in the corner. And now a shot in on Kaczmarek, a little bit of bobble, but he's able to put the glove down on it for another whistle with 1:22 left in the first.
Yeah, Loyola is right on top of the goaltender every shot.
Yeah, guys, going back to that last opportunity for the Ramblers, Kaczmarek on top of his crease looking very confident. Both goalies in this game have yet to give up a goal, obviously, but both look very confident, very strong, with only that one chance that got behind Haney really being the only one testing each one of them.
Baker spins a centering pass, but goes all the way back to the far point in Kadlec. Trying to dig it out now. Along the far half wall, eventually that's going to be chipped up and get these relatively low-laying ceilings here at the edge. Not the lowest we have around, but among the lower, I'd say.
No, I mean, especially for a former USHL rink with the steel back in the day here. I mean, you got to figure there's a lot of times that puck stoppage, and then you add in the hanging scoreboard in the middle of the ice. I saw that hit a couple times throughout the playoffs that once they get here for the Sweet 16.
Just over a minute remaining here in the first period of this semifinal game. Sticks locked up, puck bouncing, still loose next to Kaczmarek. Finally drops the glove on it, and that was about as nervy a moment as we've seen from Kaczmarek yet tonight.
Well, I tell you what, Loyola is just crashing the crease every chance that they get. They're going hard to the net. They're putting puck pressure on, and Kaczmarek makes one little mistake and lets that puck squirt loose. Loyola is going to be there to bury that mistake.
Baker and Nicosia, Levy and Nicosia. This one controlled by the Ramblers. Maurer trying to force it out along the boards. Kadlec trying to keep it right where it's at. Eventually springs free to the stick of Sipe. Sipe with an awkward dump attempt there has lost his edge, wasn't really able to get it deep. That certainly won't make his highlight reel.
Still pretty patient with the puck, though, every time he gets it.
Maurer trying to catch up to this one. He's pressuring Sipe in his own defensive zone. Kadlec in the waning seconds of the first period up to Fisher. You can just see. Here's a rebound given up by Kaczmarek, still bouncing around.
There's a one time they weren't there on the back door for a rebound.
Now another big hit as Nicosia absorbs it, gets it forward, but just starting to say, you've seen Ryan Cowan, you've seen Fisher, you've seen Kadlec. These Loyola defensemen are not afraid to get up in the play. We've seen Sipe lead action here as the first period comes to an end. Very active defenseman for Loyola.
Yeah, Kadlec, a defenseman that's been there for a couple years. He's going to try to join the rush any chance that he has. I mean, just a luxury to have two-way defensemen for this Gold team.
So that does it for the first period. 0-0 action here after one. We'll take a quick timeout. Come back with second period action in just a moment right here on your home for AHAI State Playoff Hockey, YouTube Live. Welcome back live. Second period action getting underway here at the Edge. Game 2 of this AHAI Red Varsity semifinal. One of these two teams, Loyola or York, is going to play on the 19th at the United Center for a state championship. Where New Trier Green awaits. Jeremy Ellis to my right, Wes Anderson down on ice level. I'm Max Anderson, along with our great crew here at the Edge. And what is one of the premier days in all high school hockey every single year.
Yeah, everyone's got to look forward to it, especially with the United Center on the line. First time in a few years. Wes, I don't know. It looked like they were having a little fire drill down there with Kazmarek in between periods. Was there an equipment issue with him on the York bench?
It looked like something was wrong with his helmet. I think he was able to get it fixed. I know the backup goalie went to the locker room to get a stone for one of the players. Might have a skate issue for one of the forwards. I'll keep you guys posted.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Wes. Good to have him down there on the ice. Giving us all those sights and sounds from ice level. Here's Rosa. York really just had the one really high-quality scoring opportunity in that first period. Much of the rest of the action was controlled by Loyola, but the ultimate decider, the scoreboard, we're still 0-0. Kazmarek swings around to Maurer. Now Nicosia with some space through the neutral zone. Carries in, skates wide, shoots, fought off by Haney. Awkward save, but he's able to get enough of it, keep it out of the net.
Nice little head fake there by Nicosia to free him up for a forehand shot.
Steele takes it away for the Ramblers, up to Messina, now to Waltman. Excuse me, to Baker. Moore's got Baker on his hip, trying a centering pass, active stick from Nicosia, and you can see the 200-foot game that he plays. Comes to Sipe, his shot just misses the near post. That didn't miss by much. Cutting off the angle, sharp angle shot, misses the crossbar. Sipe able to keep it in, drops it back below the goal line. Joe Bear, a quick pass trying to get it to Charlie Bain. But again, active sticks from these York defensemen. They play a disciplined defensive game, as disciplined defensively as any team in the state.
Yeah, they do, but I tell you what, they gave Chris Sipe a great look from the point, and he just missed that one. I think that was just a fraction of inches there, missing the net, but he was able to get it through. No one was there in the shooting lanes, and almost gave Gold a 1-0 lead in this hockey game.
Just getting started in the second period here. Shot off the face-off, blocked in front. Jobert couldn't get it through. Baker from a tough angle. Going to drop it below to Bain. Quickly Curry there to try to take it away for the Dukes.
This line is so good down low beneath the goal line. They're just putting tons of pressure on the Dukes right now.
Comes back to the point, Kadlik skates to the middle, shoots, deflects, off the crossbar!
Wow.
That close to the game's first goal, but will stay scoreless.
I got to be honest with you, Max. I almost thought that hit the back of the net there.
Well, fortunately, that's the end where we've got our goal cam, so I'm sure we'll get a great look at that when we get to a stoppage.
We've already seen an awarded goal after the play here in this state playoff last weekend.
We only briefly talked about that chaotic quarterfinal game between Stevenson and GBN. Here's a chance for Joe Bear. Couldn't get a backhanded shot off. Matt Klein gets it back at the point. He shoots, looking for a deflection. Still loose in the slot. Anderson there to erase danger. Cowan now buying some time as his forwards change. And cleared out as Peifel makes sure that gets out to neutral ice.
York on their heels just a little bit right now.
Kazmarek's pass up the boards, rides the rail. Cowan keeps it in. His shot. Kazmarek knocks it down. Drops his glove on it. And we'll take a defensive zone draw less than 3 minutes into the second period. Let's see. Here's Kadlik. Can't really tell there. Here's the goal cam look. Slow motion. Jimmy the Wiz getting it done. Off the inside of that crossbar is what it looked like to me, Jeremy.
God, that's still tough look.
I wouldn't bet my house on it. Let me tell you that much. That was very, very close, but what a great shot we get from that goal cam there behind Kazmarek's net.
York has got to do a better job covering the points. You can't get those shots through, because when they get through like that, then the offensive players can get sticks on them, and that's how redirects and goals. I mean, in a game like this, it's going to take greasy goals to get one past one of these netminders.
Yeah, I'm not sure you're going to see many hit Sports Center out of this game. It's going to be hard hustle and muscle that gets it done here tonight for one of these two teams. You
know, we talked about all 4 of these teams coming from the SHL in the semifinal. And there's some talk of switching some of the leagues around next season and making a larger SHL and allowing some of the secondary teams like the additional Nutrier teams. St. Viator had a second team this year. GBN had a second team, GBS, and kind of having a tiered system in the SHL. So we'll see what happens, maybe next year as the landscape may change in high school hockey.
Always looking to innovate here at this level. SHL Network, one thing we can promise you, we will be along for the ride. Thank you all our great viewers all season long and tuning in with us here. If you've been with us all the way back October 5th, our first SHL game of the week, it was this Loyola Ramblers team that actually lost to Lake Forest in that first game of the week. All the way back more than 6 months ago. Now down to one more game after this one. Here's Namek. Quickly up to Sohn, trying to play around Steele. Wins a battle. He gets taken down into the boards. York wants a penalty. I see a whistle, but I don't know that it's for a penalty.
Well, I'm more concerned about the health of those 2 players that went awkwardly into the end boards there. We've already had a player somewhat severely injured here in the semifinals. You don't want to see anyone else get banged up, as both of those guys.
Oof.
Yeah, I mean, that's a shoulder waiting to happen there.
Incidental, nothing untoward there in terms of a penalty, but certainly an awkward hit into the bench, but looks like everybody's okay.
That's good.
So 13:05 left in the second period. Face-off draw to the left of Haney. Here's Steele taking away the draw. He's going to go hard off the glass, get it out. Rosa gloves it in neutral ice, dumps it back down.
No, that's not a, big highlight play, but just a good face-off win, good high off the glass out of the zone. That's why Loyola Gold doesn't give a lot of goals up. Fundamentals.
Trapped right in front of the York bench. Eventually comes around the other side. Here's Messina with speed. He takes a huge hit. Maurer lays his shoulder into Aiton Gold. Now Levy below the goal. Him and Messina playing a 2-man game off the boards there below Kazmarek. Eventually, Cole Antonio takes it away, chips it out to Maurer.
I don't know if that was just loud or what, but Messina seemed unfazed, and that was a huge hit.
Now again, Rosa and Messina battling. Second time this shift, Messina loses an edge as he goes into the boards. Good no call from these officials.
That's how you break an ankle, though.
No doubt about it. Cadlick waiting for it back at the near point. Instead, it's played below the goal. Baker not able to catch up to it, but he's still putting pressure on. Pops free. Now rapid attempt, play out in front. Backdoor, Messina had his back to the goal, couldn't get a shot off. Now Cowan plays up to Joe Bear, drops it back below to Baker.
They're just dominating down low here against this York defense.
And Cowan has the puck pop over his stick. Quickly gets it across to Cadlick. Chipped off the boards by Cole Antonio. That's going to be an icing. So an offensive zone draw to come for the Ramblers.
Fun fact, Max, Cadlick played with my son in mites at Skokie way back in the day. In case you cared.
Family connection. Always care, Jeremy. I like to hear about how your kids are doing. 2 in college, said 3rd on his way here shortly.
I gotta say, it's always awesome to see a kid who's playing Mite House now playing at this high level.
You remember when he could barely get a skate to get on, right?
Exactly.
Here's Daniel Costabile. Playing it out to neutral ice. Again, dumped down.
Oh, wow.
An awkward bounce.
I gotta tell you, that door was an issue in the games last weekend, to the point I think it was Kazmarek that went and checked on it, or Winger, one of the two.
Sharp angle Bain. That puck trickles free of the glove. Kazmarek drops the glove on it, but wouldn't that be a rough way to get the first goal against you?
There's a few rinks out there in West, I'm sure you've seen them too, where the doors just don't line up. And if you get a hard rim, if that door is lined up like that, it's going to hit that sidewall and kick right out to the slot. And that's exactly what that puck did there.
Jeremy, funny enough, the AHAI State across the street has the same problem, so I'm not surprised that has happened here tonight as well. And if you're Kaczmarek, that's such a helpless feeling leaving the net, trying to help your defenseman out, and that puck just trickles across your crease. That's only something he's going to think about before he goes back there again.
Yeah, I think it was Winger last week actually went over and checked the door to make sure if that was lined up, because it happened in the game last weekend.
So we'll stay scoreless here, 0-0, and every minute that we stay scoreless, you can just feel the tension in this building. It continues to build. And now a first penalty of the game, a cross-check call, Jeremy. And I'll be honest, the way this game's been called, the physicality, I don't like it.
Well, I think the only thing, I wouldn't necessarily call that a cross-check. I think he could have taken one extra step to get to the side of the player. It was kind of diagonal from the backside, and maybe that's why the official didn't, want to call anything else, just kind of settled for a cross-check there. But I think if he takes one extra step and hits it shoulder to shoulder, you can kind of see he's got a little bit of his back towards him there, and I think that's what drew the penalty. Tough call in a 0-0 game, but take that one extra step if you're the defensive player.
Clean win on the draw here to Cowan. Leaves it for Joe Bear. Far circle. Right, Joe Bear at the center ice dot. Good stick tie up. Frank Nicosia. He is just so fun to watch at all areas of the ice. Getting it done here on the PK1.
Yeah, that was kind of an ill-advised pass there by Finnegan, I believe. You just got to settle in a little bit when you're working down low and then try to get it back up top so you can pull it back to center of the rink.
And trickling out of the zone. Loyola's going to have to touch up here. Minute and a half left on the power play.
Got to get a forecheck there on this puck.
And Joe Bear couldn't get it all the way deep, so it'll be easily cleared on the back end by
Cole's
Matthew
frustrated.
Moore.
He's heading to the bench, shaking his head. He's looked a little off kilter there at the start of the power play.
Almost comes up short of count as Cole Antonio, shorthanded, trying to make something happen. Drops back to Moore, and he'll just drop it into the corner. Now a minute to go in the power play.
Yeah, discombobulated here on the power play for the Ramblers.
Sipe with speed and space. He carries through. He'll try to drop it deep. Gets stopped at the blue line. Finnegan plays it forward.
There's a break there for Loyola.
Messina with the puck drops it to the below the goal line. Baker, who will move to the front of the net. Trying to create a screen in front of Kaczmarek. Cross ice Klein shoots just wide of the net. Baker trying to follow it up. Not able to get a shot to the slot area. Here's Messina again, far half wall with 23 on the power play. Fisher whiffed on the initial shot, and Booth almost had a breakaway.
T-Mac's got to take that space and walk it in just a little bit more from that wing to force the defense to slide over, and that's going to open up the middle of the ice on the power play.
Final 10, Fisher across to Klein. Fluttering puck, easily gloved by Kaczmarek with 4 to go.
I like the idea there. Just send a little loose one towards the net, let a guy try to get a stick on it.
Not just that, too. He's been seeing shot after shot after shot after shot. He's been so locked in. Just see a different eye level. I think about it from a baseball coach's perspective, right? Pitchers sometimes just change the eye level, see something a little bit different in net.
Yep, exactly. Plus, anytime you take a harder shot like that, it goes off his shin pads. You're going back the other way quickly.
Final 2 seconds here, the penalty kill for York. They're back to full strength. As Beifel comes hustling out of the box. Shot from Baker, or Waltman, just gets just enough, and I think the goal came off its post, but
I think he lost sight of it. The official was on the backside there, and it's so loud in here. Usually you can see the officials, you can hear them yell, loose, loose, loose. But in a rink like this, especially with both student sections right there, I think he just couldn't tell that that puck was loose and couldn't hear his partner giving him a scream.
8:23 left in the second period. We are scoreless. And don't let anybody ever tell you a scoreless game can't be entertaining. This has been really high-level hockey played up and down the ice. 2 really skilled defensive teams, very disciplined. I don't think we've seen a single odd-man rush here through a period and a half.
He just tried to run a face-off play there, but Cowan just read it right away off the draw and was able to get back, so they couldn't make that cross-ice pass.
Campusano turns the puck over. Here's Cowan with some space right in front of his bench. Rips a shot easily into the glove of Kaczmarek. Quick update on your shots on goal. 14-10, a Loyola advantage, and I think that about describes the pace of play. Loyola a little bit more in the offensive zone, but York right there. Jeremy Ellis, a local favorite here. There's a lot of people around the hockey community doing kissing babies, shaking hands.
Yeah, I need him to make a concession stand run here for the team.
7:50 left in the second. Puck loose behind Kazmarek. It's Anderson that kicks it to the corner. Now a bunch of bodies coming together. Colantonio trying to pry it free. Camposano pinning a man against the boards. Right in front of the New Trier Green hockey team. They're hooting and hollering. They're fans too. Back to Klein. His shot deflects in front.
Oh, that
right
could be a
into
penalty.
Kazmarek. Don't see an arm going up.
Well, he's going to get away with one there because that was well after the whistle. Finnegan was right there. He wasn't pestering the goalie at all, and that's just a hard cross check right to the back. Not doing anything.
DeZillo absolutely got away with one there.
I'm surprised Scott is not down off the bench ice level, letting one of the officials have it there.
So DeZillo skates back to the bench. Probably got away with one there.
It's kind of one where the official says, hey, they just had a power play. Let's not give them back-to-back on something that didn't affect the puck.
Smith able to take a check and get the puck out for the Dukes. Now Baker flanked by Bain. His shot easily gloved by Kazmarek. And I don't know about you, Jeremy. It just doesn't feel like anything like that's going to beat this goaltender here tonight.
No, Charlie didn't really get good wood on that one, but you can see he's kind of frustrated. But he's been all around the net offensively right now, and he's getting to good spots, and he's finding a way to get a shot off. This line has just been really aggressive here.
Another crazy
Loyola.
bounce off that door there with the fake old Zamboni. Almost popped out into the slot for Loyola. Now rink wide to Booth. Booth trying to go around Chris Sipe. His shot wide of the net.
And he hasn't had a lot of action here in the last 5 or 6 minutes.
Booth on the back check, taking Bain down to the ice. All right, Haney's been pretty still here. Baker with some space in the high slot. Off the glove of Kazmarek. Frank Rosa. Rosa with speed from the back end. He goes around one man, in on Haney, shoots. Oh, off the post, no goal.
I think that hit the side of the post, but a post nonetheless.
Now we're going to get a penalty against Loyola.
Yep.
Classic interference call. You nailed it immediately, Jeremy. And the Dukes feeling a little bit momentum here, have that scoring chance. They're going to head to the power play.
Yeah, Coach Scott over there on the Loyola bench is just questioning it, but definitely as he tries to make his way across the line, he just sets a pick there and lets Klein get unimpeded into the zone, and that's going to get called every time.
Ryan Cowan having a discussion with the referee. The captain for Loyola doesn't like the call, but it's going to be a 2-minute advantage here for York and a huge opportunity to find the first goal of the game.
Yeah, this will be the first time that we get to see them on the power play. So
their power play on the season for York at 18.8%, good for 4th in the SHL. And for Loyola, the best penalty kill in the state, 88.6%, number 1 in that department. No surprise with how good they have been defensively and in net. So York able to control here off the opening draw of this power play. Trying to dig it out of the corner, comes back to Rosa. His shot in on Haney. Traffic, but into the belly of Haney. He'll take a whistle.
Yeah, York player snuck in behind the defense there. Kind of an odd kill there. Keeping Finnegan up high to watch the point there. That's either Rosa or Nicosia up top, and they've got Finnegan up top, so that's going to leave a lot of space in the middle of the ice if they can set up in a 1-3-1.
Face off to come to the right of Haney. Dug out by Levy. Not able to clear it as Rosa keeps it in at the near point. Now battle along the near half wall as P-Tac trying to play it forward. Comes a Cowan below the goal. Sipe trying to get it out of his own zone. Minute 20 left on the power play here for York. A little bit stuck in the corners. Not able to get much towards the front of the net. Comes loose to Sipe. Maurer on him the entire way, trying to force a turnover. The strength of Sipe. He talked about the size of 19 in gold earlier, and you saw it pay off right there.
Yeah, just does a great job of shielding his body to the puck. Get the defender on his back. Oh, wow.
Nicosia with some trouble at his own zone. Almost a costly turnover. Matt St. John nearly had a breakaway. Now settling down is Matthew Moore. Stretch pass finds Rosa.
Look how aggressive Loyola is on this kill. They just go right to the puck hard. They cut the ice in half, and they really attack it along the wall.
36 remaining on the power play. There's Nicosia with speed up the right wing.
Oh, that was offsides. I was waiting for the whistle. Coit was about a foot ahead of Nicosia as he had to go wide there. Linesman all over it. Great call there to shut that line rush down.
Guys, something to keep in mind, and as we've got a little bit over 4 minutes left here in the second period as this ice is starting to deteriorate. We've seen a couple times this York Dukes trying to make passes. We see that puck bouncing quite a bit, so a little sharper on the stick here as this period starts to wind down.
I'm going to continue to lead the committee on ice cuts between both periods when we get to this level. I will gladly carry that flag.
You take it down to 16-minute periods then?
Here's one more clear. 15 seconds ago on the power play as Kazmarek has to play it below his goal line. The pressure of Jacob Holton causing a little bit of problem here. At least able to waste some time for the Ramblers. Final 5 of the power play. Not able to control it, so Loyola is able to kill their first penalty of the game. Back to full strength.
Holton's like a wrecking ball out there right now. Just all over the place and laying body along the way.
He doesn't get a ton of shifts, but you can tell when he gets out there, he's going to give it 100% for 30 or 40 seconds and head right back to the bench.
Exactly. Well, especially when you're killing penalties. You're doing something right if coach puts you out there in a man-down situation.
Now one more time. Stick by Baker. Falls to Camposano. He volleys off the boards. Coit takes over. Swings it across to Costable. This trickles into Haney. He drops his glove on it. Take a draw with 3:33 left here in the second period.
Yeah, good communication there between Haney, his defense, and his defenseman to allow him to glove it. But tell you what, I'm going to keep an eye on Charlie Bain. He is just around the puck too much in the offensive zone. Sooner or later, I think he's going to crack the ice here and put one in the back of the net.
Draw to come to the right of Haney. One cleanly by York. Costable steps up to drop it below the goal. Nicosia battling in the corner with Levy. Now Cole Antonio. Buck stuck along the near half wall, eventually chipped out, back into neutral ice. Curry takes it in his own zone. We are now 31 minutes into this game, Jeremy, and I don't recall a single odd man opportunity for either side. It has been a grind. It has been disciplined.
It was
defensive
back and
hockey.
Yeah, it was back and forth in the early going, but it was, still just speed rushes, not really odd man rushes. So
you could kind of feel the energy of a semifinal, and the crowd kind of probably got them going there in the first 5 or 6 minutes.
Totally, adrenaline was pumping for sure, but
now we've settled in here.
Yeah, I think where you're going to see the better scoring chances is when Loyola really works it down low.
Matt Klein blows a tire at the blue line. Huge break as that puck. I believe, did it hit somebody at the York bench or was it offsides? I looked away for just a moment.
Yeah, I think it was offsides. And Mac a little frustrated right there. I think he'll have a chuckle with it as he kind of got bailed out with that offsides there, but he's definitely not happy.
So neutral zone draw, one cleanly by the Dukes. Here's Rosa in the neutral zone. Rink wide pass, misses Booth.
Yorks look good on the face-offs, winning those draws.
This puck deflects into the bench. Just missing Matt Boeing, second-year head coach for York. He's really turned this York team into a consistent churning machine. And we talked about fourth in the SHL regular season. Obviously has his team here in the state semifinals.
Yeah, they've definitely built up this program. Being in the SHL for so long has definitely helped them out.
Puck now in the corner. It's about the one blind spot we have here from our broadcast spot is that near half wall area in the Loyola zone. Sipe up to Jobert. Jobert rifles it towards Kazmarek, well over the goal.
Bain tried to sneak one there from the sideboards.
This cleared out into the neutral zone as Sipe will volley it right back. Folks, I don't know if you can quite hear it through our mics, but there is an uneasy tension that has come over this entire crowd here as we get to the latter half of the second period. I think everybody kind of senses that one goal might do it here tonight.
Yeah, I think both teams really want to get to the locker room right now unscathed and kind of regroup.
Shot from Steele, deflected by Rosa. Moore in the corner. Chips it up to himself. A cheeky play there from 9 in gray, which I hadn't commented on yet, but these York uniforms are probably my favorite in the state.
Oh, the gray does look good.
With that nice Duke logo there in the middle. A sharp-looking uniform.
It's better than the old block letter that they used to have back in the day, for sure.
It's missing everybody here in the final minute of the second period. Rosa, quick touch pass from Colantonio onto Maurer. Skates wide, drops. Here's a shot. Haney just steering it aside. Not a clean glove save for 35 in gold. Now in the final 20 seconds, on comes Messina. Fisher coming up the slot to help him. Fisher now leaves for Levy. Camposano pins in the corner, final 10.
Good job by York just eating the puck here in the last seconds.
And who is in the middle of it, Jeremy? Frank Nicosia. Does it all over the ice, all over the ice all night long. That will do it for 2 periods here from the Edge. In semifinal number 2, we are scoreless as we go to the ice cut here at the Edge in Bensenville. Take a timeout, catch our breath, come back with third period action just a couple of minutes right here on your home for AHAI Hockey YouTube Live. Welcome back live here at the Edge in Bensonville. Semifinal number 2 of the AHAI Red Varsity State Playoffs coming your way. Alongside Wes Anderson down at ice level, Jeremy Ellis to my right. I am Max Anderson along with our great crew here. Wrapping up the the AHAI State semifinals. 0-0 game through 2, Jeremy, and some may say 0-0. What's going on in that game? Is anybody trying to score? People are trying to score. These are 2 outstanding defensive teams and 2 great goalies.
Yeah, they're right on script right now, and I think Wes is down there on the side in the box.
We'll kick it down to Wes Anderson, who's standing by with Matt Boeing. Wes, go ahead.
Thanks, guys. Coach, the theme in this game has been the goalies. Just talk about what Adam Kaczmarek has meant to this team.
Yeah, Adam has been a huge foundation of our team the last 2 years. Great leader in the locker room, and we can really build from the back end up, and he's a presence on the ice, that's for sure.
You're 17 minutes away from punching your ticket to the United Center. What do you guys need to do in this third period to come away with the victory?
Yeah, we really need to break pucks out of our zone here, maybe stretch a guy here or there, and really crash the blue paint over there on AHAI over there. So really try and test them, put pucks there, and try and get a dirty one here and grind it out.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck in the third.
Thank you.
Guys, back up to you.
And we touched on that, Jeremy, throughout that first 2 periods, just how difficult Loyola was making it on York's breakout. Clearly, Matt Boeing is very focused on that. If you're Matt Boeing, you're talking to your defenseman, what are they keying on? What can they do to break some of that pressure?
Well, right now they're just working them down low. I think what they've got to do is try to get some hard rims and try to reverse the ice a little bit. And if they can get a winger just to kind of hang out and try to split the ice and try to get a little reverse and get the puck up the other side of the boards, I think they're going to take advantage of that low pressure of Loyola, and they could try to get some odd man rushes going the other way. When they force everything to the strong side and it's right into the defense and the teeth of Sipe and Klein and Cohen, if they can get a hard rim on the other way, get a winger over there to track down the puck right away, I think they can get a quick odd man rush out of the zone.
Thanked our great broadcast crew, as I always like to do. I want to make sure I give a good, hearty thank you to our supporters at AHAI, Jack Weinberg, John Dunn, Jana Crossfelt. Without them and their coordination, their support, and the support of all of AHAI, these broadcasts are not coming to you live from the Edge Ice Arena in Bensenville. So we a big thank you to them and their constant support of these broadcasts. We want to make sure we can reach every fan of the game. Do want to give a shout out to Scott Kurzweil and the Kurzweil family out in Steamboat, Colorado, a York alumnus family, a couple of former York Duke hockey players watching out there in Steamboat.
Sure, there's some good skiing conditions out there in Steamboat at the moment.
Maybe they're skiing
Mountain
down the
towns are getting dumped on out there.
They sure are. Maybe in game one still had some daylight out there. Maybe they're skiing the last couple of runs with our first broadcast in their ear. We appreciate all our fans. We are truly an international following. Dozens of states, dozens of countries, all focused on the premier high school hockey in Illinois. Underway here in the third period. Back on the home sides are Haney and Kazmarek. It just feels like someone's going to have to earn it or a fluky bounce. I do not expect any kind of dirty or soft goal the way these goaltenders and these defenses are playing.
Yeah, I mean, you got to get really hard on the rebounds. You got to get down in front of the net traffic, a tip. Just any type of thing that's just going to be a greasy goal. Just right place, right time.
Rosa leads the rush, leaves for Maurer. His shot goes well wide of Haney. Fisher intercepts that cross-ice pass. Smith on this fresh, wet ice loses an edge. Here's Fisher. He's checked off the puck.
I thought he was going to get lined up as he went east-west there.
We've seen some hitting, a little bit more than that first game for sure. It's been a physical game, a defensive grind for both sides. Neither team wants to make that first mistake, and mentioned it in the first, mentioned it again in the second. Not a single odd man rush that I can recall. It's been disciplined, hard-nosed hockey.
Yeah, it's been nip-tuck for sure, and it's always interesting to see what happens after an ice cut. I was talking to Wes in between periods. He thought it might be a quick goal after an ice cut. Sometimes you see that in the SHL where one team just kind of comes out with a little more jump. But so far, neither one's been able to light the lamp here.
If you need some extra jump coming into the third period of a 0-0 hockey game with a chance to make the state championship at the United Center, I don't know how to get you more excited. P-Tac forces a turnover, almost gets a breakaway opportunity, but Sipe there to recover for the Ramblers.
I swear, Sipe, it's like a love-hate. Sometimes he'll make a mistake, but he's right there to just kind of fix his own mistake, and he just never looks shaken. He can lose the puck or make a bad pass, but he's always right there in the play.
Here's Curry carrying through the neutral zone. Across the blue line is a shot. Missing the near post. Haney let it go, but no threat to him there. Joe Bear able to dump it out back to Curry at center ice, who whips it right back in as the Dukes will go for a change.
Yeah, York has kind of tilted the ice just a bit here. They're forcing everything and keeping it down in the Loyola end to start the third period.
Anderson and Peifel here on this forecheck, but quickly erased. No, gloved by Coit. He couldn't play it forward any further. Waltman slowed down by the back check of Peifel. And a quick stick from Coit, intercepted by Klein. Finnegan chips it back in on Kazmarek, and with just a little bit of pressure, he'll drop the glove on it. Just 2.5 minutes into the third period.
Yeah, Loyola did a good job of kind of weathering the storm of that initial pressure by York. Now they're going to try to force and get some pucks back down into the York zone and try to go to work down low.
Face-off comes to Klein at the far point. He'll drop it below the goal. In the corner is Camposano trying to dig it out for York. 5 bodies collide together here along the near blue line. Anderson eventually able to chip it out to Coit. Coit's pass intercepted by Waltman. Waltman with some speed. The big body of Waltman goes around one defender, shoots that one across the crease but wide. That puck chips out into the seating area here of a huge crowd we have on hand for this second game of the semifinal. Huge student section from York, just as equally large here from Loyola. The entire side that we're on opposite the suites, pretty much every seat taken.
I think the student sections are catching their breath a little bit. They've been kind of quiet here in the third period.
No doubt that as we get down to it here in the third period, they're going to come back to life, and both these sides just itching for an excuse to go crazy for the game's first goal. Holden deflects this along, and he was short of center ice. That's going to be an icing. York going to get an offensive zone draw.
So the combined division's actually down to the semifinals as well.
That'll be Friday.
That'll be Friday. I think Chicago North is taking on, let me see, Lincoln Way,
yep.
And then Prep has Libertyville.
Yeah, Libertyville.
So those are 3 out of 4 teams.
There's a shot loose in the crease. A bunch of bodies, but yeah, we'll have that right here for you at JNM Media. On behalf of AHAI, Friday night, right back here at the Edge, 6 and 8 p.m. puck drops. It's that time of year.
3 of those 4 teams coming from the IHSHL, North Central Division.
Here's a shot in on Haney, kicks it aside. You're coming out with a purpose.
I was just going to say, they look like the team with a little more pep in their step right now.
Here's Moore's shot, fought off by Haney, loose in the slot, but Sanfilippo couldn't get a follow-up shot. Here's Sight below the goal to take care. You see the strength of Sight. Talked about it earlier. He was getting tugged on his entire exit out of the defensive zone, and he's able to hold the puck the entire way.
He just keeps defenders on his back and just able to puck protect. Second to none.
Now
there.
Fisher gets a turnover, shoots, fought off by Kazmarek. Fisher acting like a first baseman, gloving that puck out of midair and nearly set up the first goal for Loyola. Here's a shot. That's well wide of the net. Now Levy drops it below. Messina corrals it. Sharp angle. He's evaluating options. He'll go across to Kadlik. Kadlik's shot gets deflected behind the net. Messina into the slot. Fisher couldn't get much on the shot because Namek was there to disrupt his flow, and York's going to get 5 fresh bodies after a long defensive shift.
Thought they might wave that one off there for a second, but
guys, it seems like the pace in this game has gone back to what we saw earlier in that first period. York really benefiting from that intermission, coming out super strong, about 4 or 5 shots on Haney down to my left, and right back at it, Kazmarek with another great save to keep this game scoreless.
Offensive zone draw for Loyola. Maurer able to get it off the draw with some speed through the neutral zone. He's got Cowan back skating in on Haney, who corrals that puck. Make sure he gives up no rebound, and offensive zone draw coming for York.
Yeah, I mean, you equate a game like this to a heavyweight fight, right? You just got to be able to weather some punches, and then you counterattack. And York weathered a lot of punches there from Loyola in that second period, and they came out on the counterattack here to start the third. And now Loyola had some good puck pressure on that last shift. And we'll see if they can kind of change the momentum just a little bit.
Updated shot totals, 20 in favor of Loyola, 16 for the York Dukes. So relatively balanced there, as that's just a touch offsides. Neutral zone draw to come.
Yeah, a little break there for York because I think Loyola was going to start to break it free there in the neutral zone.
11:48 left in the third. We're going to play till someone scores at least one.
Had some overtime out here on the edge. I think Chicago North beat Buffalo Grove in 2 overtimes in the combined division.
Jobert with the puck. Tries to shoot towards Kaczmarek. Knocked down in front by Costabile. Here's Petak along the far wing. He's 1-on-4 as he's got a couple of line mates going for a change. Puck trickles in towards Haney. He'll drop a glove on it. Petak goes flying into the boards in front of his student section.
I mean, I love the aggressiveness there by Haney. It just sometimes you see him come so far out of the net to cover the puck, and Wes, you worry that he just may fumble it or just mishandle it just a tad and lead to an easy goal there for York.
Yeah, it's got to be the nerves a little bit. It's a little bit more energized. We've seen a lot of his games. He's out on the crease a little bit higher than we're normally used to him seeing, but definitely some nerves he's fighting through.
Shot just steered aside there by Haney off the draw from York. York really putting the pressure on. You can feel it. Something might be coming from York. Here's a shot from Curry, wide of the net. There's Haney wide again.
He can't cover it there. He can't cover it there. Wow.
And he gets away with it.
Yeah, goalies cannot cover the puck when they're completely below the goal line like that.
Now, Waltman trying to come back. Aggressive from Kaczmarek. We got goaltenders.
It's just a calamity of errors right there.
Risking
Guy almost took out a linesman.
Risking the biscuit all over the ice. Here's a shot. Not able to get past Kaczmarek. Waltman settles it. This one's going to hit the roof. We'll stay down in the York end.
Yeah, Haney, I'm surprised he even tried to do that there, Wes. That's a goalie no-no.
Jeremy, if I'm not mistaken, isn't that delay a game if the goalie tries to cover that?
It does. The official gave
cover
him
it.
He did cover it.
Absolutely covered it.
He did cover it. I mean, York has definitely got a good beef that could have been a delayed game. Officials kind of gave him some leeway there because you got to play the puck, and think about it. You're way out of the net, and you got to let the puck go behind the goal line.
Here's a point-blank chance, but Fisher couldn't get a shot off. He had some room. He was being checked down to the ice.
Nice play off the face-off there for Gold to get a good scoring chance.
10 minutes to go in the third period. Someone looking to punch a ticket to the United Center on the 19th. Here's Cowan. Can he do it for Loyola? His shot deflected by Peifel wide of the net.
Give that defender a chance to get in front of it. Got to get it off quicker.
That's the second or third time tonight you've commented on that. Here's a shot from Levy. Blocked. Sprawling block from Peifel. Cowan at top of the circle. Again blocked by Peifel. He's got a step. If he hurries, he could have an odd man. But look at Ryan Cowan.
That's
get
off.
Back in support.
Yep.
What a defensive play from Ryan Cowan, who fully caused that offsides there. 14 in goal. What a player.
I tell you what, he is fast. I mean, he made up so much space after getting that shot blocked. Any other player would have been back, and that would have been a 2-on-1. And then not only does he break up the play, ties up a stick and creates an offside. That's why he wears the C, and that's why he's one of the best players in the state.
Yeah, absolutely loved watching Ryan Cowan for the last 4 years.
5. You're giving him a red shirt here.
Almost there. I wish he could come back for a 5th. He's just been such a fun player to broadcast for and follow his career. And as good of a hockey player he is, he's an outstanding young man as well. And he's trying to lead his team captain, to a state championship.
See York trying to stretch the ice a little bit in the neutral zone there. That was a good.
That probably indicated that's something they were going to look to do here, open the ice up in the neutral zone a little bit more. Jobert across the Bain, his shot. And just cool as a cucumber is Kaczmarek in net. Deposits that in his glove. He'll take a defensive zone draw.
I mean, that's what you want. You want a far-out shot like that right into the goalie's glove. If that's down low, then you can crash the net and try to get to it before he covers it. But when it's right at the goalie's glove, that's just a vacuum cleaner. That's going to get sucked up, and that's going to get a line change, a face-off, all types of good stuff for York.
Sanfilippo and Finnegan on the draw. One cleanly by Finnegan to Waltman. Drops back to Klein, who puts it below the goal. Sanfilippo now up to Namek. Namek's going to chip it deep. Sohn on the forecheck. Putting some pressure, puts a hit on. right in front of his student section. They approve.
I think Chris was trying to sell that one with a little leap there to try to get a penalty call.
This misses everybody. That's going to be an icing, and it's going to come back into the Loyola zone with 8:41 left in the third.
A little bit of a cheeky play, as you like to say, Max.
It's one of my go-to lines. You watch enough EPL soccer, you can sneak in some of those. Enough FIFA 23 and
Ted Lasso.
It's just a really funny dynamic in the rink, Jeremy. It's almost hard to describe, but everyone just waiting on edge, waiting for that moment, and you can just feel it.
Student section coming back alive a little bit too.
Yeah, York student section doing some catch across the rink with some of the youth players over there. Now good stick from zone. Haney leaps to drop on top of it. Look at the hand-eye coordination here from zone.
Yeah, that's such a great skill to get a deflection like that and get it towards the net.
A little bit of jawing back and forth, gets both student sections back in it a bit.
Looks like York's trying to match lines a little bit there. Loyola was quick to make a line change, and York hesitated for a second, then they sent him out to match.
York is the higher seed, so they are the home team. They get that option of last change here as the 3 seed. Loyola comes in as the 7 seed. That big upset over GBS is how they got here. Fisher going to be called play to AHAI State. Didn't think that was necessarily above his shoulders, but
it was tight.
Going to be a break here for York as they'll get an offensive zone draw.
Yeah, and everyone starts to grip the stick a little bit tighter as the clock starts to wind down. Just about halfway, over halfway through this final period.
Face-off draw won by the Dukes. Here's Moore trying to play it forward. Gets deflected. Now Maurer. Cole Antonio trying to turn and shoot. Almost got a whistle there from our referee as there was a lot of commotion in the crease, but we'll play on. Rosa, cross ice, hard off the glass. Ooh. Great pass to Maurer up the wing. He shoots, but Cowan eliminates the angle, steers it aside. Now centering pass, they score! Frank Nicosia waiting on the doorstep, and the Dukes strike first. It's 1-0 York. And as much as we've talked about Frank Nicosia all night long, front of the ice, back of the ice, in his defensive zone, in his offensive zone, Johnny on the spot, perfect spot, he buries it in the back of the net.
Well, I know Cowan's your guy, but he overskates the puck and he doesn't stop on it, and that allows him to get possession of the puck behind the net, and Nicosia is right there on the doorstep. Cowan's got to stop on that puck and stay on that post so that pass can't get through, and he kind of just was a little bit too casual behind the net there after overskating the puck, and that created the passing lane, and that got it right out in front of Nicosia. But I tell you what, this Loyola Gold team has been in this situation before, Max, so if there's one team that knows how to come back in a late game situation, it's Loyola Gold.
Absolutely. I was just thinking the same thing. They've done it all season long in games we've broadcasted and games we haven't broadcasted. At times, it's been a defeat in overtime, but more often than not, they have battled absolutely to the end. We expect the same here.
And if you're Loyola, you still have to tighten up things in the defensive zone because you can't go down 2 goals. I mean, that's just almost a death nail.
Smith with a quick stop, turnaround, collision behind the play here in front of the Loyola bench as Sipe and Petak were getting into it. Now side of the net, not able to get a shot off with Smith. Here's Sipe. Sipe looking rink wide to Bain. Bain's got Joe Bear coming up the wing, but a good stick play by Rosa eliminates that opportunity for the Loyola Ramblers.
I think Bain would be better served just ripping that puck there with the shot that he has coming down on his forehand.
Now Cadlick creating some space. Misses the stick at Cowan. That's going to be an icing. And back into the Loyola zone here with 6:20 to go.
All right, well, things change now for York because they can start to go in the shell a little bit defensively and try to play that trap, get all the pucks in deep. They're a very disciplined team, so I'd expect them to really try to just hang on the ledge here and cling to this lead. Be surprised if they have 2 guys below the bottom of the circles, let alone 1 at this point.
Anderson, a clean face-off draw. Jeremy, you've been talking all night. Duke's doing well in the face-off dot all night tonight.
Yeah, that's how you win games and get the championships, right there.
Anderson and Peifel stuck in the corner as Cadlick, Finnegan, and Waltman all battle out along the far half wall. Eventually comes free. Costable keeps it in for the Dukes. Here's Anderson. He's being tugged on by Finnegan. Will play on. Still battling through with the puck is Anderson. He'll drop it below to Coit, who eventually gives way to Finnegan. Waltman's pass off a skate.
Both these teams really trying to sell, trying to get a call here.
Cadlick drag, centering pass, just misses his intended target in the slot. Big wind up from Messina, deflects up into the netting. We'll get a face-off draw.
Yeah, they're going to keep it inside. They did see the deflection. York bench was calling for it to be outside the zone, but that one's going to stay down low.
The Dukes 5:26 away from a date at the United Center. Can they close it out? Can Loyola Gold, as they have all season long, find some late game magic?
Wes, what's the word over there on the York bench? Are they telling them to kind of lay back a little bit, or they want to keep things status quo and keep the pressure up?
Right after that goal, they all came to the bench and said, calm it down. They can tell how much energy they got after that goal, but they're trying to stay even keel here with 5 minutes left in the third.
And now, Jeremy, you called it immediately that we were going to be in the York zone, but they're bringing it out here in the neutral zone. That's a break for York.
Yeah, I thought it got tipped, but good job by the officials to come together, have a little discussion there, and get the face off in the right spot.
I thought maybe they were going to award a goal for some reason.
Maybe.
Too.
Penalty shot.
If you weren't tuned into the quarterfinals, it was quite the event between Stevenson and GBN. That's our reference for those that weren't joining us for that. Here's a long pass from Rosa that misses everything. It's going to be icing.
Oh, York's got an argument there that Klein could have played that puck. And Max got to really hold. He's got to anchor on the blue line there because he's got to keep that puck in the zone. He started to fade out really quick, and that allowed them to get the puck past him and get it out of the zone the second right before that as well.
5 minutes exactly left in this game. New Trier awaits. Will it be York? Will it be Loyola? 5 minutes to decide. Puck comes to the near half wall, kept in by Steele. He chips it in on net and easily gloved by Kaczmarek. The York side thought that puck popped out. Wes, you're down there. You have a pretty good look at it. Did that stay in?
Yeah, guys, that puck definitely got out. York has a great case for that being offsides. Was Kaczmarek able to freeze that down and get a whistle nonetheless?
It's amazing how those plays always go against you when you got a lead there.
Baker right in on net off the draw. Mikey Baker won a state football championship. He was the kicker for Loyola in that state championship. He's trying to win one here in hockey as well. He's got to find a goal here in the last 4:35 if he wants a chance for it.
Loyola's really got to shorten the zone now. They got to get their defensemen up on the points.
Smith checked off the puck by Bain. Cowan comes to help.
You're not going to get that call in this game.
Follow-up chance, a shot on Haney, still bouncing around. Right in the slot eventually. Kind of a quick whistle because Haney never had it.
Yeah, P-Tac was just fighting there in front of the net, and he got hauled down.
A good look from the goal cam. You'll see, I don't think that puck was ever really secured. See Haney still reaching for it. Can't really see it from that angle. You see it squirt out the other end.
Wes, it sounds like that York bench is just getting exasperated, looking for a call, offsides, penalty, something down there.
Yeah, head coach Matt Boeing, I think, has lost his voice at this point between the players and the refs, so something to keep in mind as this game continues.
Yeah, you got over 10 days to get it back for United Center. That's the way you got to look at it.
Here's Sipe. Plays it forward to Fitzsimmons, who buries it deep. Kaczmarek trying to decide what to do. Hesitates. Finnegan almost with a chance there. Waltman tries a centering pass, but who other but Frank Rosa. What a defensive game he's had for the Dukes. Brings it forward. Now Sipe.
Oh, you got to catch that pass. That was great neutral zone work between Sipe and his partner there.
3.5 to go. Moore drops the puck in deep. Kadlik to his D partner. Now a turnover to Nicosia, top of the circle, drags around one man. Backhanded shot, sprawling block by Fitzsimmons to protect his goaltender. Fitzsimmons just going to chip it out to neutral ice.
That's what happens when you're a Loyola team that's not used to playing this way. You make mistakes.
Here's a shot from Curry, and Haney gloves it.
They're not used to making those long cross-ice passes, those stretch passes. They're a possession team that makes the short pass, and when you try to get out of your comfort zone, that's when they're going to make mistakes, and York has just been right there to capitalize on those.
Nicosia again wins the draw, back to Curry. Curry's shot deflects off.
I mean, that's a game changer, Max. I mean, just the number of draws that York has won in this hockey game, it's just so tough. You know, think about it, when this clock starts to wind down, Loyola's going to have to win a draw to get a goalie pull, to get a timeout, you know, any type of situation like that. And York keeps winning them, they're going to lock it down. There's a nice one.
Finally won by Jack Levy. Now a stretch pass off the boards. Messina, good touch pass to get it deep. Fisher trying to catch up to it below the goal line.
Good hit, though, waiting for him to touch the puck before
Fisher
he made the contact.
Back to the point and Klein. But again, the quick pressure by Cole Antonio forced Klein to drop it back below the goal. Here's Cowan near half wall. And as you prescribed, seeing very aggressive defensive play now from the Ramblers. They're going to get an offensive zone draw with 2:30 to go.
Let's see if we get a timeout here. This is just about the time that Loyola took the timeout in that GBS game and got the goalie pulled with 2:04 in that one.
Loyola faithful trying to will their skaters on here.
So this is the one I never understood. You're telling your goalie to come up to get him out if you win the draw. Why not have the extra guy out there to win the draw?
I suppose if they win it cleanly. Haney still hesitating halfway to his net. Steele with the puck. Bain turns, shoots. And Kazmarek with the save.
We take the timeout here. I see Scott looking over at DJ.
I think I see play being called out from the bench. Doesn't look like a timeout's going to be taken. Face off, won cleanly again by P-Tac.
That's the other reason why you get them out there. They've been dominant on the draws.
Cowan waiting for it at the point, trying to get the puck from one of his forwards. That's again going to be cleared. And good thing Haney was in net. I think that would have trickled into the net for an open goal or open net goal. 2 minutes to go. Which of these two teams can hold on? Will it be York? Does Loyola have some late game magic? Here's Sipe one more time. Puck pops free. 1:40 to go. There goes Haney. Sixth attacker comes onto the ice. A shot from the slot. Follow-up chance is tiered aside by Kazmarek.
They got to get on the puck quickly.
Fitzsimmons quickly pinning a man against the boards. Bain comes away with it. Chipped into the slot. Jobert trying to win it back. He can't. It's chipped out to Matt Klein, who settles in the neutral zone. Jobert's got to clear. Now miscommunication between Cowan and Klein, but Cowan.
Relax, Mac. Relax.
And a bad break here
man.
is the hot pass from Cowan deflects off the stick of Klein to the Loyola bench, so Haney's going to have to get back in his net.
Well, I think the other thing is you got to take the timeout here, too, because these guys are gassed, and you want them fresh here for the last minute. There you go.
There's the timeout.
Yep.
It's a great call. With 1:10 to go, Loyola has taken their timeout, and Jeremy, you've been in these positions before. Take us through what's being discussed down there.
Well, you're trying to talk through a couple things. You really want to start with face-off responsibilities because York has been so good on the face-off. But with it in the neutral zone, you might try to draw something up to get somebody over here on this wide side to try to get maybe a righty out there, try to fire it over to the wide side, get a guy with speed up the boards. If not, you're going to take it back, maybe try to settle in behind your own net, pull your goalie while you have the puck even in your own zone, and then you can rush up with the extra attacker. Those are the couple things that I would be talking about right now in the timeout. The other thing I'd be talking about is make sure you have 2 men on every puck, 2 and 3 men. You got to have the numerical strength on every puck down low in the zone. And if you're York, you got to eat pucks. You got to get it over in the corner, start to kill clock whenever possible.
Wes, what do you got down there?
Head coach Matt Boying is saying there's 1 minute left. Got to get as many bodies in front of shots as you can. Help your goalie when you can. And every puck that you can has to get out. Be tough on their sticks. Been 10 feet in their zone. And do whatever they can to not let this puck go in.
You can hear how loud this place is right now. Wes can barely get the words out. It is mayhem down there at ice level. 1:10 to go. What script will we have going into a state championship? Will it be the classic New Trier Loyola? Or will it be this York team just quietly plug their way along, looking to punch a ticket to the United Center? Here's Baker, centering pass erased by Rosa. He had Bain waiting in the slot. Jobert able to keep it in. Here's Jobert to his backhand. In the corner, trying to center it. Again cleared. Length of the ice. Will this make an empty net? It does! Empty netter! 2-0 York! And they're 48 seconds away from the United Center.
Well, I tell you what, they just didn't have the puck pressure down there. And anytime you send a puck to the middle, you've got to have a bunch of guys down there. York just stacked them up right there in the middle of the slot, and they were able to get it, and then they were able to shoot the puck down, split the defense, and that puck had eyes and it found the back of the net.
An absolute madhouse on the York bench.
Gotta tell you, that's got to be a good feeling, Max. You put that empty netter in. You're 48 seconds away from going to a state championship game. And Loyola's getting an extra timeout right here, it looks like.
And if it isn't poetic with the game he's played, who got the empty netter? Frank Rosa.
There you
who
go.
Who has been absolutely stellar all night long for this York team. At both ends of the ice. He's not the biggest guy on the ice. He's not the fastest. He's not the strongest, but he's in the right position more often than not. And he gets the empty netter. 48 seconds ago, 6 attackers on for Loyola. They're going to see if they can pull off nearly the impossible. Fisher drops it deep. Sipe and Jobert. Now it pops out once more. Can they get one more empty netter? Look at Ryan Cowan keeping his team in it. Now comes loose to Sipe, bouncing around, tons of bodies in the middle of the ice. Here's Baker, his shot deflects, side of the net, trying to stuff it home. Jobert couldn't get it to go. And kept in one more time by Baker. Sipe turns around, fires it towards net. They're running out of time, 15 seconds. Here's Nicosia, his shot just wide of the net, but he was over center ice. So no icing call, 10 seconds to go. Empty netter off the post. But that won't matter, folks. 3 seconds to go. York has a date at the United Center. An absolute grinding effort the entire night as you see the Dukes skate over to their huge student section. And they will take on New Trier Green March 19th, 3:30 p.m. at the United Center. Nothing but respect for these two teams. And for the 4th time and the most important time, the York Dukes beat this Loyola Gold team a final 2-0 in one of the more physical, defensive, disciplined games we've seen at this level.
Yeah, I tell you what, that's always been the bugaboo of Loyola as they kind of matriculate their way through the state tournament. They've got to be able to put pucks in the net. I mean, that formula of good defense and goaltending can get you so far, but when you get down, you got to be able to put 2 and 3 goals in, when it counts to get, over the top and into a state championship game. But, nonetheless, you can't say enough about this Loyola team, the run that they had with the seed that they had, the goaltending, the offense that they got, the late game heroics, all that great stuff. But York, I tell you what, I mean, if anyone told you that they'd have York in the state championship game this year, they're lying to you, Max. I just, this team has overachieved. They made a run here in the playoffs. congratulations to the Dukes.
And if you had any doubt who Wes Anderson was going to grab first, it's the winning shutout goaltender, Adam Kazmarek. Wes, take it away.
Thanks, Max. Adam, just talk about what it means to put up that goose egg, that 0 here in the semifinals, and punch the first ticket that York's ever had.
I can't give enough credit to my boys. You know, every shot I saw, I could see I had a shot at. You know, this is one of the most electric games any of us have ever played, and, you know, I played, you know, AAA, but I don't think any of it compares to this. I just can't give enough credit to my boys out there. It was a hell of a game by them.
You got one more game until you can call yourself a state champion. How do you refocus now with the date at the United Center on March 19th?
I don't know if we want to start thinking about it too often. I don't want to be like worried for the next 10 days. I think we'll enjoy it tonight, and then, you know, we'll just start to get dialed in after that.
Okay, go enjoy it with your teammates. Thank you. Okay, take us through that game-winning goal. An outlet pass from your defenseman. You're able to sneak in behind the defense and tap that in. What's going through your mind?
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy for sure. I mean, I got to give it to Eli Maurer and Chuck Colantonio. They worked their ass off down low, hit me right in front. Really wasn't much but me just putting it in the back of the net, so it's all those guys doing all the work.
I asked Cass something similar, but you're the first captain to take the York Dukes, the state championship. What does that mean to you?
I mean, it's everything. It's an honor, honestly. We worked for this all year long, and, you know, we worked so hard throughout the whole year, so we're really excited. Hopefully we can get it done.
Go enjoy your teammates. Thanks.
I appreciate it.
And considering they're headed to their first state championship, the composure from Adam Kazmarek and Frank Nicosia, they know they still got work to do.
Yeah, I mean, I like the response, though. Let's celebrate tonight, and tomorrow let's get right back after it. Let's go back down to West, too.
Last but certainly not least, let's get some thoughts from the head coach, Matt Boeing.
Coach, quick, just want to talk about the resilience of your team. You take a 0-0 game into the third period. You're able to get that first goal with about 8 minutes left. I saw you talk to your team. Calm down, calm down. Just talk about the composure of these dudes.
Yeah, you know, boys were very composed. First time in the Final Four, so we had a lot of nerves going. Third period, we got back to our cycle and grind game. You know, everybody's so excited out there, so we forget to breathe. So take a few deep breaths, little mindful moments, and got back out there and got to work. Loyola was a hell of a team. They gave us a hell of a battle. Great coaching staff over there, too. So honored to play against them in the Final Four, but very happy to move on to the UC.
You talk about moving on to the UC, the first time this York Dukes team is going to be there. How do you get prepared for this New Trier team?
Yeah, you know, again, Adam's a great coach over there at New Trier, and we're just going to get ready to go. You know, what else do you do? You're in the UC, check out what they're running, and just try and beat it. So boys are hyped up. We keep playing our game. Anything could happen. So we're happy to be there.
Thanks. Congratulations, Coach. Good job with your team.
Appreciate you.
Guys, back up to you.
Thank you, Wes. All night long. Appreciate it. You see some happy York Dukes on their way out of the rink. I'm sure they're already purchasing those state championship tickets down at the United Center. And one thing to let you know, we are proud and honored and humbled here at J&M Media that we will be the broadcast partner with AHAI. Jeremy Ellis, Wes Anderson will be on for the Red Varsity State Championship call from the United Center. A lot of exciting stuff coming up. Stay tuned to the SHL and J&M Media on Instagram, where we'll have a lot more information about that in the lead up to the state championship game. Jeremy, final thoughts.
Well, I tell you what, you know, you got a hot goaltender and you got a team with a lot of heart, and that's what this York team has. I mean, they made a nice run here in the playoffs in the state once things got to the edge. They were hard-nosed. They were grinding-type hockey games. They got out to a lead, and they were able to just put that strangulation hold. They did it in the game in the quarterfinal. They did it here in the semifinal. Once they got the lead, they buzzed around the net. They kind of laid back, but they took advantage of opportunities, and then they just relied on the back of Kazmarek, and that was a winning formula. And here they are. They're off to the United Center for the first time.
That will do it for us here from the United Center. New Trier, York, your state championship game, 3:30 p.m. at the United Center, March 19th. Be there. If you can't, you can watch it right here through J&M Media on the SHL Network. That will do it for us from the Edge. Want to thank our great crew, as we always do, our cameramen Dylan Ward, Matt Freeman, Joel Schneider, bringing you all the great sights and sounds from throughout the arena. Of course, Jimmy the Wiz Olson, our technical director, does all of the amazing work here on the broadcast, always locked in, bringing you great visuals all night long. Joe DeGrand on the technical engineer role as well. Wes Anderson down on ice level. Jeremy Ellis to my right. I am Max Anderson. Thank you so much for tuning in with us tonight. We'll be back here at the Edge for the combined semifinals Friday night. Until then, congratulations, York Dukes, New Trier Green. They're headed to the United Center State Championship. That'll be all for us tonight from the Edge Ice Arena in Bensenville.